Next up in our wet F123 car setup series is Singapore, and this is a track I really enjoy in the dry, but I really love it in the wet. It just really becomes alive and you're really hanging onto the car around every corner. But you can be incredibly fast in the wet and really take the race to the AI. For the aero, I have maxed things out. I've gone 50-50 to provide the absolute maximum amount of downforce we can get. And then for the transmission, I've gone 50 on the on-throttle diff, which is the same as our dry setup and just helps with traction. And then I've lowered the off-throttle diff down to 51. I've kept a little bit of off-throttle diff in there just to kind of help prevent over-rotation at slower speeds. Then for the suspension geometry, I've gone -2.8 and -1 on the camber. And I've increased the toe, both front and rear. I've gone 0.04 and 0.18. For the suspension, I've softened things down a little bit just to help with stability. I've gone 23 and 5 on the suspension itself, and then 7 and 1 on the ARBs. For the ride height, I've boosted things a touch to 34 and 38. Then for the brakes, I've got 95% pressure, 55% brake bias. This just helps to avoid too much front lock-in. But if you do experience some rear lock-in, you can move the brake bias a little bit further forwards to 56, maybe even 57, somewhere where you feel comfortable, where the rear isn't stepping out on you. And then for the tyres, all I've done is increase the front pressures ever so slightly to 22.8, and I've left the rear pressures at just 20 psi. Now let me know in the comments if you enjoy this track in the rain just as much as I do, and let me know how you find this car setup. I'm going to swiftly move on to our Suzuka wet car setup, but until then guys, enjoy this and I will see you on track.